Now at 10, how the proposed gas tax holiday might impact area highway projects. Plus, we speak to the program director at Hero Ranch to learn how it's helping veterans. And why the Webb City Police Department partnered with the Webb City Farmers Market. Later, some advice on how to stay safe while out on the boat this summer.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Oklahoma law officers have arrested top officials in the state's EPIC Charter Schools program on multiple felony charges. This is KOAM News at 10. The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation today announced the arrest of EPIC Charter School founders Ben Harris and David Cheney and the former chief financial officer Josh Brook. They face a slew of charges, including embezzlement of state funds, racketeering, and conspiracy to commit a felony. The OSBI says their investigation began nearly a decade ago. Investigators claim the men were involved in a scheme that cost Oklahoma taxpayers more than $22 million. President Biden is proposing a 3-month federal gas tax holiday. KOAM's Chris Warner spoke with local officials and representatives about that proposal.
Oil company executives meeting with Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm today in Washington.
How did the meeting go?
It's very constructive.
The discussions come as the Biden administration renews its focus on lowering gas prices. Today, Granholm.
Our apologies, that is the incorrect report. We'll see if we can have the right one for you a little bit later. Now, according to AAA, the Joplin area has the lowest average gas price in Missouri, $4.44 a gallon for regular unleaded. AAA reports gas prices have been trending down coming into the 4th of July weekend. Overall, Missouri is averaging $4.64 a gallon, Kansas $4.62, Oklahoma $4.61, and Arkansas $4.48. The national average for gas is at $4.94 a gallon. Let's check in with Doug Heddy for our first look at the weather.
All right, Down, another hot one for us today, but some of you, a very small percentage of you, got a little bit of rain during the afternoon hours for us today. 92 was our high. Average high is 88, so just a little bit above where we should be for this time of the year. Any thunderstorms we did have earlier, those are gone. All of us are dry right now, but we are watching this batch of thunderstorms north central parts of Kansas, mainly heading off toward the east near Kansas City. These will clip our far northern counties. Besides that, everybody's going to stay dry during the overnight hours tonight. Mid to upper 70s to lower 80s in our western counties. By morning, about 71, 80 by 10, 92 by noon. High temp, it starts heating up all the way up to about 96 degrees. It gets hotter as we head into the weekend. Also some thunderstorm chances. We'll look at that here in just a bit.
See you then. Heroes Ranch in Pineville, Missouri is offering veterans and first responders mental health training free of charge. KOAM's Amber Jenkins tells us how this ranch is impacting our area hero.
There is a lack of mental health support for our combat veterans and first responders. A ranch in Pineville, Missouri has created the nation's first non-clinical program called Warrior Path to help our area heroes.
About the fact that there's over 22 veterans a day that are committing suicide, and that's not just the Iraq and Afghanistan veterans, that's Vietnam veterans. Also, that's an issue, right? That's a challenge that is out there for us as a society to take on, and this is one of the ways that we're doing that.
The Warrior Path program was created by veterans for veterans. This peer-to-peer training is specifically tailored to the needs of veterans and first responders. Participants in the program appreciate the untraditional approach to healing and mental health.
When you look at it, normal like therapy, right, going to a therapist and treatment and those kind of things, it's good for some people. Right, but what we found is for a lot of veterans and first responders, training is actually what they need. And so that was one of the reasons why this program was specifically created, is that it is training. It's not therapy, it's not treatment, there's no doctors. This is a peer-to-peer program.
Large donations originally got the Warrior Path program started, but the donations and support from the community keeps the program growing and impacting heroes.
Whether it is larger donations by individuals or even small donations. You know, a donation of $25 or whatever it is makes a difference, okay? It doesn't matter how big or how small, everything here gets poured into what it is that we're doing here at Sheepdog.
Amber Jenkins, KOAM News Now, Pineville, Missouri.
You can contact the Warrior program to get involved. Parents in Webb City were given a little peace of mind along with a free meal for their kids. The Webb City Farmers Market is offering free meals to kids this summer. Today, the Webb City Police Department also handed out free child identification kits. The kits include forms that parents can fill out with their child's physical characteristics and fingerprints. Those forms can then be turned into authorities if the child goes missing.
I mean, it's being offered, and I mean, like I said, hopefully you never need it and you don't want to really think about it too much, but when I saw all the things on it, it's good to do when everyone's good and happy and safe, and God forbid you need it, you have it, and do it and put it away somewhere and try not to think too hard about it, probably.
The Webb City Farmers Market takes place at King Jack Park on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Support Staters get a lesson on human trafficking in the workplace. The Crawford County Mental Health Center brought together area human resource professionals for today's seminar. The guest speaker of the meeting was Ada Hutchcraft, a spiritual care specialist from Ascension Via Christi. The presentation stressed the importance of observable signs to look for in the workplace and stigmas the professionals should be aware of.
In the hospital, you would automatically just basically assume everyone coming in that was beat up or something like that would be involved in domestic violence. And after today, that's definitely not the case. And it's going to allow me to kind of look more into that and see the sides of human trafficking and the difference and how to start recognizing those differences.
The participants were also taught about how to approach sensitive situations involving trafficking to protect the victim and themselves. Coming up, we're going to hear about Joplin's Rotarian of the Year, plus today's testimony for the January 6th committee. We told you President Biden is proposing a 3-month federal gas tax holiday. KOIM's Chris Warner has some local reaction.
The proposal would shave around 18 cents off the cost of gas for unleaded fuel and about a quarter off for diesel fuel. The federal gas tax pays for about 25% of state highway projects. If it were eliminated for 3 months, that's 3 months of lost revenue. Despite that, Steve Hale with KDOT says they're not concerned.
Our impression is that the revenues coming from the federal government towards our budget would not, even if reduced some, would not be significant enough to impact our overall budget or our projects that are now in process.
Hale says the funds they do receive are key to projects in the state.
Certainly, as we look for funding, as projects move into our pipeline as part of our Eisenhower Legacy Transportation Program, those federal funds are a component of our long-range planning. So certainly we look at those, and they're very important to our infrastructure.
On the Missouri side, officials with MoDOT tell us it's too early to know if the holiday would have an impact on state projects. We spoke with Missouri Senator Josh Hawley, who says the tax holiday is little more than a gimmick and won't really ease the pain at the pump.
I mean, if you look at, filling up an F-150, for example, you'd get out of this over the whatever, 2 or 3 months it would last, you'd save about $30 or something. I mean, it's just, come on, it's insulting. It's really insulting. That's why I say, if he's serious about this, make it permanent. Make it permanent.
Senator Hawley says he would support a permanent tax cut and believes there's a way to pay for that cut.
I would support a permanent gas tax cut, and the way to pay for that would be to put a tariff on Chinese energy production, on Chinese solar panels and wind turbines and batteries. So if he were serious, he would open up American energy production and he would cut the gas tax permanently and tariff our competitors. But he's not going to do that.
I'm Chris Warner for KOAM News.
The Rotary Club of Joplin has a new recipient of their Rotarian of the Year award. Congratulations to Audi Dennis. The award is for the Rotarian who's clearly stood out in demonstrating service above self and commitment to the 4-way test during the previous year.
Very humbling, very humbling. I honestly was taken by surprise, and just to be nominated and recognized by a group of people the caliber of the members that we have in this club is very humbling.
The award was designed by Joplin artist Jorge Leyva. Police and firefighters in Miami have reached a new contract with the city for higher wages. The Miami City Council approved the new contracts after months of negotiations. The Contract for the fire department is for 2 years. It'll reduce how many years a firefighter needs to put in before being promoted to lieutenant or captain, as well as raising wages. The city expects it to cost more than $150,000 over the 2-year period. Miami Police also agreed to a 2-year deal. It'll also lower the requirements for promotions and cover wage increases for all employees. It's expected to cost $171,000 over 2 years. You can find out more about what the contracts include on our website, koamnewsnow.com. Federal lawsuit is challenging a decades-old Missouri law that limits the extent to which volunteers can provide ballot booth help to people who have disabilities or are unable to read or write. The lawsuit targets a 1977 Missouri law that says people can provide voting assistance to only one other person per election unless they're election judges or immediate family members. The suit says the law violates the Federal Voting Rights Act. A similar lawsuit is pending against an Arkansas law. Former President Trump was calling top officials at the Department of Justice, quote, virtually every day to look into his bogus claims of election fraud. That's according to new testimony from the House committee investigating January 6th. Reporter Serena Marshall is on Capitol Hill with more details of the former president's pressure campaign.
The House Select Committee investigating the January 6th attack used its 5th hearing of June to show how former President Trump wanted to use the Justice Department to legitimize his false claims of election fraud.
What I'm just asking you to do is just say it was corrupt and leave the rest to me and the Republican congressman.
The former president's own appointees at the DOJ refused and told him there was no fraud.
And he had this arsenal of allegations. I went piece by piece to say, no, that's false. That is not true.
Mr. Trump then tried to replace former acting Attorney General Jeffrey Rosen with Jeffrey Clark, the DOJ's environmental lawyer and a supporter of Mr. Trump's cause.
Listen, the best I can tell is the only thing you know about environmental and elections challenges is they both start with E.
Clark wanted the DOJ to push for a special legislative session in several states to overturn the election results. In an Oval Office meeting on January 3rd, top DOJ officials threatened to resign en masse if Clark was promoted.
No one is going to read this letter. All anyone is going to think is that you went through 2 attorneys general in 2 weeks until you found the environmental guy to sign this thing.
At the end of the hearing, the committee showed how several Republican congressmen asked for pardons.
A general tone was, we may get prosecuted because we were defensive of, the president's positions.
Clark, who was never named acting attorney general, invoked the Fifth Amendment more than 100 times during his deposition to the committee. Serena Marshall, CBS News, Washington.
Federal investigators raided Clark's home in Northern Virginia yesterday. It's unclear what the reason for that raid was. A little bit later, a GRDA spokesperson gives advice on how to vote safely this summer.
Plus, gets even hotter over the next few days. Also, some rain chances. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, of course, another hot, humid day for us today. Temperatures mid-90s during the afternoon. Heat indices about 100 to 105, which is lovely, of course, this time of the year. There were a few isolated thunderstorms. They weren't scattered. They were just isolated. But we had a couple out there, which is good to see. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, of course, Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. All right, temps right now, we're sitting mainly into the mid-70s to upper 70s to near 80 still in our western counties. 7th and Rangeline currently sitting at 77 east. Southeasterly winds 5 to 10. Humidity is kind of high at 82%. Any scattered thunderstorms we had pop up in a few locations earlier today are gone. So we're dry right now. We're going to stay dry as we go through the overnight hours, with the exception of our far northern counties. May pick up a few scattered thunderstorms due to this complex all the way back through northwestern Kansas, mainly tracking due east near Kansas City. So most of this is going to stay north of the region. But here's our issue. You see this spin just to the west of Dallas? That is a big dome of high pressure. So what this does is it forces everything up and over the high. You can see these storms, northern Kansas, we're just a little too close to the high pressure to get much in the way of action here. And of course, with high pressure in the summer, you mainly stay hot, dry, and very humid. Let's go through time tonight. Again, northern counties, few random guys. We'll go to the noon hour, quick warm up near 90, mid 90s during the afternoon. Here's your day planner. Starting at 71, 91 by noon, high temp and 96. Very slight chance there may be one little thunderstorm that tries to pop up in the afternoon. Most of you are going to be dry. Tomorrow night, we're only drop back 78 to 80. And then on Saturday, we're going to have some clouds, especially in our northern counties, but our temps are going to warm into the upper 90s to near 100 degrees. There may be some places northeastern Oklahoma that actually hit 100. But as we go into Saturday evening, here comes a cold front. Scattered showers and thunderstorms develop along and north of the front, which means we could get some decent amounts of rain if these storms can develop. Some of them could be strong. Probably not severe, but something we'll keep our eyes on. So here's Sunday morning. So we start the day on Sunday with some scattered showers and thunderstorms, and then we'll dry out by Sunday afternoon. All right, watch the heat. Look at the heat indices tomorrow, about 105, maybe 108. Heat indices out there again on Saturday, 105 to about 110 across the region. Here come the changes. Cold front. Saturday night with those showers and thunderstorms, and then look at this. We get a nice little stretch of 80s for highs. The humidity's pretty much going to be gone. It looks pretty good for at least the first half of next week. 96 tomorrow, 98 Saturday. Morning thunderstorms Sunday. Nice little stretch of 80s, but as we go into the 4th of July holiday weekend, rain chances in the 90s return.
It wouldn't be the 4th without heat. We prefer not to have the rain on that particular
night. I always have to say hot as a firecracker at least once every year.
You do. Yeah. It's getting kind of trite.
Wow.
Thanks, Doug. Over the past few weeks, the GRDA has reported that 2 people have died on the water, one at Grand Lake, another at Flint Creek. Well, now that the 4th of July is approaching, more boaters are expected to be out on the water in the coming weeks. With that, the GRDA has some tips for boaters to stay safe on the water. Among other things, they advise people to have experience with the boat they'll be driving.
Boating smart involves knowing something about the vessel you're going to be operating. You know, are you able to handle it? Have you controlled it? Know the speed. Use common sense. Give the right of way to other boaters, you know, things like that. Watch out for other boaters on the water. Boating smart.
Most importantly, the GRDA emphasizes wearing a life jacket. Crews today removed the old transmitter from the top of our tower. For now, we are broadcasting officially from a temporary transmitter lower on the tower as we prepare to put the new, more powerful transmitter at the top. Our signal, we know, is a little bit glitchy for some of you. That's just for the time being. When the project is finished, we're going to be broadcasting with more power than ever. We hope that to be reasonably soon. Check out the progress anytime on our website, koamnewsnow.com/power. Danny joins us now. There's a summer high school baseball tournament in Joplin this weekend.
Yes, the Midwest Mustangs play their first game of the tournament this afternoon. We have the latest on that. And local wrestlers learn from a national champion. That story and more next. Pittsburgh High School hosts an all-girls wrestling clinic this afternoon, led by champion wrestler Nicole Moore. Moore is a U23 national champion and a 2-time NAIA All-American at Baker University. Today, she led around 25 local girls through a 3-hour clinic. It was an opportunity for these wrestlers to learn skills and techniques from a female role model.
I'm just really glad now that we have other girls that are coming out of Kansas and they're like, okay, this is possible. So when you look around, you see all these girls doing it and you see all these girls fighting for this, and I love that. The fact that I can get back now and share my love of the sport with these girls it's the best thing ever. I hope they picked up on 1 or 2 things that they really liked, but I also try to have a lot of fun when I come in and do camps and share my love of wrestling with them. I think everyone left here with smiles on their face. They seem to enjoy themselves.
Over in Columbus, another wrestling camp is being held this week. Michael D'Agostino is leading the Get Wild wrestling camp. D'Agostino is a 2-time Division I NCAA All-American. It's a 2-day camp with sessions today and tomorrow.
At this age, it's just mostly about having fun at camp and also just learning the basics, because that's kind of where it's all going to start. think a lot of these kids have only been wrestling like 2 years maybe, so it's like their first camp since like because of COVID they didn't do camps. So for a lot of them this is like their first wrestling camp. So you want to make like a good experience and fun for them.
The Joplin Outlaws are in the middle of an 8-game road trip. They're 9-8 overall this season and have won 4 of their last 5 games. Joplin is in St. Joe this evening taking on the Mustangs. St. Joe scores 11 runs in 2 innings to take a 13-6 lead in the 7th. Outlaws' Casey Yamachi is 3 for 4 with 3 runs scored. Max Bruff and Caden Bressler each have 2 RBI. The Midwest Mustangs are competing in the CMWS qualifier in Joplin this week and weekend. The Mustangs win their opening game today 8-0 over the Red Sox. Logan Myers pitches a complete game. Cam Custer and Brett Sarwinski pick up 2 hits each. That's a look at sports. We're back after this.
Take time now to honor a local veteran. Karen McRae served in the U.S. Navy in 1978 and 79. Her hometown, Miami, Oklahoma. And we are proud to salute Private Second Class Karen McRae, a 4-state hero. You know, we have more than 3,000 of these heroes in our database. You can look them up by hometown or by name, and we're always looking for more. If you know of a veteran or currently serving service member, let us know about him or her. Just drop us a line. Click on the link, koamnewsnow.com. It's hot out there.
It is. Yeah, it's really going to heat up over the next 2 days. 96 tomorrow, 98 Saturday. Heat indices 105 to 110. So if you are going to be outside, drink plenty of fluids. Cold front Saturday night. Hopefully this will give us some scattered showers and thunderstorms.
Final sports note.
The Midwest Mustangs win their tournament opener today. They'll play 2 more in pool play tomorrow afternoon.
Very good. Thanks for joining us. We're going to leave you with a unique look, kind of an upward perspective at the kids having fun at Chanut's Water Wars yesterday. Let's make it a great tomorrow.